right, South Africa's governing party has again thrown its weight behind President Jacob Zuma despite numerous calls from civil society, party allies and veterans for him to resign.
Well, top officials of the party held a meeting on Wednesday and resolved that Zuma remains ANC president and only the party can decide to remove him. TVC's Voldy Karelsa was at that media briefing.
The party's Secretary-General, Gwede Mantashe, is one of three who expressed dissent at President Jacob Zuma's midnight cabinet reshuffle. Last week, he said while there were initial consultations with the ANC, the final cabinet changes were, quote, drawn up somewhere else. Now Mantashe is also the one who has to face the media and admit he and other senior leaders, including the Deputy President of the country, were made to apologize.
The officials have given the NWC a candid report about their serious and difficult disagreement. They have further acknowledged that the public dissonance on the matter was a mistake that should not be committed again.
The party says public disagreements creates confusion and uncertainty, but it makes clear the divisions within the organization. Absent on Wednesday was the usual confident assurance of unity.
Unity will be earned, we'll forge it in the trenches, we'll work together, and President Jacob Zuma is the president of the ANC. Now, when you ask me that he's here to stay, you're asking a very loaded question. He is the president of the ANC. Okay.
The focus now shifts to the opposition party's attempts to remove Zuma through a motion of no confidence. The ANC has an overwhelming majority in parliament. The opposition needs their votes. But the ANC believes this motion will fail again, because only this party has the power to remove a sitting president.
We are members of the ANC in a party political system, and we will not vote against the ANC. Okay, we will not vote against the ANC. No army respecting itself allows its foot soldiers to be commanded by an enemy army general.
Zuma may have emerged victorious from this battle, but the war is far from over. He still faces protests from ordinary citizens, religious leaders, and unions, all calling for his resignation. Voldy Karelsa, TVC News, Johannesburg.
All right, well, we have our correspondent, Voldy Karelsa, joining us now from Johannesburg. The leaked minutes of the ANC meeting, you want to talk about that? There seems to be, like I asked you last time, I think the question here is about unity, not allowing the other parties, maybe DA, take over where ANC is.
Well, I really think what I should do is just bring you back to what's happening in the capital city right now. We're in Pretoria, we're in Church Square, where Savis, a civil society grouping made up of various organizations, have been camping right outside the doorstep of Treasury for the past week, ever since that midnight cabinet reshuffle of President Jacob Zuma. Now you'll know that thousands are expected in Pretoria today, in Johannesburg, in Cape Town, in Durban, as well as far afield as London and New York, all asking for President Jacob Zuma to resign. This is really the call that's coming from various quarters, not just inside the ANC, but outside as well. And thousands of South Africans are expected to mass to show their displeasure with government led by Zuma. But I have a guest joining me. Dominic Msibi is from OUTA, one of the civil organizations here in South Africa that's part of the Save SA grouping. Dominic, why did you and OUTA feel you guys needed to be part of these protests?
OUTA has been a civil representing the interests of all South Africans here under the banner of Save SA, because it is that everybody stood up together, united, and what's happening in our country. The country is under siege from the powers that be, the people that are supposed to be protecting the interests of the people. During electioneering time, they make a call to the people that says a free South Africa for all. But you have to ask yourself right now whether it is really a South Africa for all.
Dominic, just on that point, when you see threats, not just from the South African Police Service, but also from the ANC against marches like this, do you think that signals to people that are outside of South Africa that this is a free and democratic state?
It wouldn't at all. From anyone that's watching and listening to what you've just mentioned now, that doesn't augur towards a free and fair state at all. And as I was saying earlier, you begin to wonder, is it really a South Africa for all, or is it just for the elite few that have their fingers in the coffers of the taxpayers' money?
Do you think removing President Jacob Zuma will remove those elite few?
It will, because I believe that that's where the source and the core is. Everything else that we see going on around us, be it the downgrading of our economy, be it the resignations that you're seeing now, are just a symptom of the real problem. So to answer your question shortly, yes, I believe so.
Dominic, what will you be marching for today as a mother, as an aunt, as a citizen of this country?
I, as a mother, as a human being, firstly, before anything else that life has thrown at me, and then as a mother, I am here to say today to save South Africa, not for ourselves, not for my generation, but for our children and future generations to come, because this does not affect us right now. This is just the beginning of laying the foundation for a better future for generations to come. I personally think that the best inheritance that we can leave for our children is what we're trying to achieve here today. A stable, a fair, a free, a transparent South Africa whose leaders hold the interests of the people of South Africa in their hearts before their own.
Do you think the president will listen to you today?
The president needs to listen to us today. It's not a matter of do I think he will, because I don't know what his reaction and what his reality is, but the call that I make is that he needs to listen to South Africans, ordinary citizens on the streets like ourselves. He also needs to listen to others in his own organization, the ANC, that have been speaking the language that we are speaking here today. So we don't stand alone in saying this. We stand whom are leaders of this country. Imagine what our wars are right now. We only have 2 of them left right now, the others having passed away, the most person being that of Katrada. Those that have passed are turning in their graves. Are we going to allow the 2 that are left to go to their graves with the burden of knowing that what they sacrificed their lives for, what they gave up everything for, is in jeopardy because of one man? I don't think so.
Dominic, thank you very, very much for joining me today. I hope you'll stay safe on your way to the Union buildings. Well, that was Dominic Msibi from Outer, one of the Save SA marches that will be descending on Church Square. That march is due to get underway in just under 30 minutes. But at the same time, we have the main opposition party, the Democratic Alliance in downtown Johannesburg. They're marching near Luthuli House, the headquarters of the ANC, that's being protected by thousands and thousands of MKMVA veterans, and there's surely trouble to be expected there.
Voldy, before we let you go, it does seem that Zuma has a lot to contend with, but each time he seems to survive the onslaught. Of course, you have the Deputy Finance Minister, Mr. Bisi, resigning only recently. Now, tell us really, do you think the cabinet reshuffle that saw the removal of Pravin Gordhan may be the final straw that will break the back of Zuma? Does he have a choice that to step down eventually?
There really is no positive answer to that. In South Africa, the president is known as the Teflon man because nothing that's thrown at him seems to stick. And whether or not this cabinet reshuffle will prove to be Zuma's undoing is really something that we'll have to wait and see. The ANC believes that it's not. They've thrown their weight firmly behind Zuma yet again, not unexpected based on those leaked minutes that we saw earlier in the week ahead of that ANC press conference, that clip that you played a little bit earlier. But they're making it clear that the ANC really is the only organization that can remove Zuma from power, that these marches are just that. They might be a show of force, and it might be quite an embarrassing situation for the president to be waking up at this morning to finding thousands of South Africans asking for him to go right on his doorstep. Whether or not that affects him is really, really doubtful. We had a statement from the presidency late last night saying that the presidency respects people's right to march. This despite the acting police commissioner from the South African Police Service coming out and declaring marches like this illegal. Now in South Africa there's no such thing as an illegal march because marching and protesting is protected under the very progressive constitution. We only have authorized or unauthorized marches. But we've seen those kind of intimidatory tactics, not just from the police, but also from the ANC. As I said, there are MK veterans right now clad in army fatigues outside Luthuli House, protecting Luthuli House. We know of several pro-Zuma marches happening in Durban. There are some happening in the Eastern Cape as well. So there's really going to be this clash between South Africans who feel that Zuma should go and South Africans who feel they should throw their weight behind the ANC. Now, the Secretary General of the organization, Gwede Mantashe, is saying all that people are managing to do is to unite the ANC against this perceived threat. And what they need to be doing is for the ANC to decide to remove him. We do know that that motion of no confidence is coming up in Parliament, not this Monday, but next week, Monday. And there has been intense lobbying from opposition parties to those ANC MPs. But of course, it is a setback when you have MPs like Mcebisi Jonas, the former Minister of Transport, Dipuo Peters, the former Minister of Energy, Tina Jumat-Patterson, resigning ahead of that vote, because those opposition parties, they need those votes in order to pass that motion of no confidence, and so that looks unlikely as well. The ANC is very, very certain that Zuma will remain president of the organization until the end of the year, and that Zuma will remain president of South Africa until 2019 when we have a general election.
All right, Volde Karaze. And then there is the question of the call that the president made to the leader of COSATU. But we're going to leave it there for now. We don't have time to talk about that. That might change a lot of things. Thank you, Volde Karaze.
Jacob Zuma is proving to be the cat with 9 lives.
Yeah, exactly. He made a call the other day to COSATU president, and he says, they asked him, are you considering the option of
stepping down? Because
he was, you know.
Yeah. And he's saying, no, I ain't going nowhere. All right, we'll take a quick break. And when we come back, we will be looking at the setback for the EFCC, or if you like, the anti-corruption war of the federal government. Stay with us.